Perfect. Yep, got it.
Does anybody have YouTube Plus or whatever where it doesn't have ads pop up in the videos? Okay. I just had one pop up in this Robert Hassel video, and it literally popped up in like the middle of the screen.
That's annoying.
So I'll just have to do my best to keep an eye on it in broadcast so that it isn't showing up.
She did a little bit. Yeah.
Yep. No, it's good. It's got about, the same delay as last time, the 1 to 2 seconds. But and it's good on the back end to pick the player now. Want me to test one out, or? All right. Let's go with a shocker at 1-1. Yep, just now. Yep.
You know what? I gotta charge my laptop.
Let's see.
Want me to ping Ralph, or we still waiting? All right.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just testing.
All right. So we'll start it off. Little intro. Tigers will be on the clock. The pick is in. We fly the graphic. We play video of Torkelson as we're talking about him, and then we say goodbye. On the clock is now the Baltimore Orioles. Here are the top players left on our board. No surprise, Lacey, Martin are the names expected to go. We chat for a bit. Pick us in again. We fly the graphic, and then we announce what is.
Yes, indeed. Then Eddie, you'll be able to see what guests are, down there ready to go. We were talking a bunch just the other day about guest wrangling, but shouldn't be a problem. But you'll be able to see if someone's missing or anything.
Yeah. And okay, so I know we wanted to maybe say something like when the pick is in, just like a sign that I can hear it or that I heard it. Where do you want me to put that in studio output? Okay. And are we doing a Discord chat to have you guys in my ear or no? Okay. Well, the echo's not that bad, but you saying
Off right now. You should still be able to hear me.
yes.
You know what, Sam? That might not be the bad way to go.
Yeah, that might be smart. I'm getting a lot of echo, but I think that's just because
His
Hey,
Zoom.
Ralph.
What's up?
I'm on mute on the other ones, so
yeah. Rob, can you go ahead and join output in another tab?
Wait, did you ask him to join it? I think you asked him to join it from output, but you were muted in studio, which is where Ralph is. Yeah,
yeah, you're right, Eddie.
yeah. I think he took off for a quick second.
So Sam, testing out some things on my end on YouTube in terms of live clipping. I mean, it's definitely possible. If there's something that we just want to, if we definitely want to replay, it's possible. I could just have, I could have QuickTime, share the screen and audio, sync it up, and it's possible. Absolutely. The worst part will be get the transfer, getting it over to you. Gonna do that to remove a step.
What's up? Sure.
Sam, like I know how you and I were talking, how we can't grab a recording from StreamYard in the middle of a recording, but I'm pretty sure I can grab the YouTube, like say everything we've done so far. I'm pretty sure I could grab that. Can I? Sam, I'll let you know in 1 second.
What if you use like
Yeah, I
recording?
can. Yeah. So everything we've done, everything that we've done since you started the link, I can record and download now. And so say Eddie said something that we want to replay right away. It'll take a second to download, but it was a quick second actually. So we might be able to. I wouldn't count on it, but yeah. I wouldn't rely on it, but it's a possibility.
All right, Done. You want to pull up a video window? Let's get this thing rolling.
Okay.
Okay, so you should be able to hear us now.
Yep, can hear you.
Why am I getting an echo? Michael or Dunn, can you talk?
I don't have headphones on for what it's worth.
I mean,
Can you hear me?
I don't think it matters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my mic
I
usually
need
cancels
a
that
moment
out.
where everyone else is quiet and one of the producers is talking.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Okay, sorry.
So you have me in output.
Yep, I'm getting you through OBS is what's happening.
I was muted in OPS. Do you want me open or what?
So the issue is that if I'm running it off of StreamYard, I'm not grabbing audio from specifically the window that's OBS is grabbing from. So it's just recording all of the audio, which means that it's taking my voice, putting it back into OBS, and then spitting it back at me through StreamYard. So I assume also, Michael, if you were watching the stream, you would be hearing my voice coming over it right now.
Yep, no echo through there though.
Yeah, it's just going to be one source, but I would need to. Yeah, I don't have a way to use that, I don't think. So yeah, I'm going to have to use the Discord call.
Okay, that's fine. Just start up that voice thing, and I'll be in there. I have a hard out at 8:30, so I'm gonna get this going.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here like probably soon. I have to pick an order from the grocery store that I put in. But I'm in the clear after 9 o'clock, as always.
Am I? Why is it me? Why is this shit ringing so much? What the fuck? There we go. Test. Sam, are you in here? Okay, Mike, you can hear me, right? Can anyone hear me on Discord? Okay, Don, you got me. Then I assume. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. For what it's worth, I think I don't know if this is an internet thing, but my video runs a lot smoother than Chris's. Like
Yeah,
significantly smoother.
it's lagging a lot for me.
So if we put up mine and Ralph, tell me it's just maybe it's just not me. So this is mine now. Do you see it smoother? Ralph, do you see this smoother? This video is smoother on StreamYard?
Was that slow-mo? It's still lagging. It's not as bad as the other one, but it's still lagging.
So okay, so this is still like okay, because then it's playing.
Sorry, I
perfectly
have
on mine.
screaming kids right now at bedtime. Like my house is like a fucking riot.
No, that's all good. I just wanted to see if maybe you see what I see differently.
It's lagging a little bit.
Yes, I
Yeah.
can. Yep. No, I'm not. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's just roll with this for now. We'll figure out the logistics out later. But I want to get this going, guys. I've been on this call for a little bit. We haven't done anything. All right, done. Just use my screen for that crap. Sam, let me know when we're ready to go. Let's assume we got like 20 seconds to the Tigers pick is in, and then I'll let you guys fly the graphic. I guess I'll be looking at the OBS output to know that. So I'm let me know when I can start talking and pretending. All right, and so we're winding down now into the first pick of the Detroit Tigers. This might be the only pick that doesn't have any surprises, Ralph, or at least we're hoping so. But it wouldn't it be fun if it did? Tigers. My main question is, and we're going to post a Twitter poll out here for this: is Torkelson going to be the new top prospect for the Tigers?
Not in any real life list, from a top 30 sort of perspective. Our lists and the way we make them based on a scouting sort of basis. I don't think he overtakes any of the arms there at the top, whether it be, Matt Manning or Casey Mize, sort of take your pick there. From a fantasy perspective, I think Torkelson probably does. If we're doing out team centric fantasy rankings, I'm probably putting Spencer Torkelson number one over the two arms. As much as I like Manning and Casey Mize, I just think the total package from a hitting perspective sort of puts Torque into that upper echelon of fantasy prospect where from day one, he's probably top 10 to top 20 on almost every single list that you see.
Yeah, and I already hear the comparisons. Already see the comparisons rather of Andrew Vaughn versus Spencer Torkelson. I think that's going to be the hot new debate. I can already see a few articles coming out, maybe one by yours truly. I'm a big Andrew Vaughn stan. I'm not sure where I stand there. I think I'm ever so slightly Andrew Vaughn. I think the hit tool is a little bit better. Power not as prodigious as Torkelson's, but I think he can get there. Real quick, Ralph, where do you stand on Vaughn versus Torkelson in the fantasy context here?
Sure, and I'm probably one of the few people that has seen Torkelson and Vaughn on the same ball field on the East Coast, so I'll pat myself in the back for that one. But I think when you compare the two, both right-handed hitting, right-handed throwing, first base only types for the most part. Former third baseman, Vaughn was a former shortstop that slid over to first base full time. Both have excellent plate discipline, excellent pitch recognition skills. So there's a lot of like for like there. Torkelson probably has a little bit more raw pop than Vaughn does. Some of that comes down to just a bigger, more ideal, more prototypical first base kind of frame at 6'1", 6'2", very broad shouldered. Very athletic in terms of his build. He can play probably both of them are very good first basemen. Torkelson probably has more of an opportunity to potentially fit in left field long term. But I think it's neck and neck. But I give the edge to Torkelson just because of some of those additional intangibles. And I think that just because of longer arms, Vaughn has pretty short arms. It's kind of a funny thing to say about a prospect, but it's true. I think he's got a little more difficulty handling elevated velocity off the plate or a good changeup, where Torkelson has the ability with longer limbs to be able to drive some of that stuff to the opposite field.
Cool. Guys, where's the pick is in or any of that, or what's going on? All right. So let's pretend this is Baltimore Orioles. We talked about Torkelson video played. All right. Well, you just thought the pick is in for the Baltimore Orioles. This is maybe the first big thing we've been waiting for, Ralph. In your mock 4.0, I already forgot. Mock 4.0, you had Asa Lacy, right? Asa was Lacy. You had Asa Lacy. We just released that less than 24 hours ago. And surprise, surprise, they actually went Heston Kjerstad. They went under slot. One of the big things in play was you had been hearing, Ralph, that these guys maybe just want to save money for maybe a big fish down at 30. Immediate reactions, Ralph. Was this? We knew this was in play, but was this still surprising to see?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we had heard the whispers as early as Tuesday evening that this was a definite possibility. I had mentioned it as an alternative at 2 in my second scenario in my mock, and it's going to play out. This is going to have ripple effects down the board because obviously it pushes Lacy and Martin and Gonzalez and Hancock and a few others right down the board to teams that we didn't necessarily have them projected to, which is one of the benefits of making the alternate mock was to sort of capture some of this quirkiness that can happen. But there's going to be big shakeups in the top 10, and we should be in for a really fun night with Kjerstad going too.
Yeah. So is this something? If you're an Orioles fan, are you disappointed, or is this? Should we just hold judgment until we see what happens at 30?
Well, yeah. I mean, the rumored potential player at 30 is Nick Bitsko, and I think that you can make a pretty fair argument that he could be some team's favorite prep arm in this draft. We know he reclassified from a 2021 class, so he's one of the youngest players in the 2020 class. Being able to draw him down to 30 with some of the extra money that we've heard rumored here and potential savings from going Kjerstad at 2 over Lacy, Martin, Gonzalez, and some of these guys, they might be able to pull a really exciting player there. Baltimore has a ton of money, and now even more of that cash is in play later on in the draft. It's a team with, the first pick in the competitive balance round and the second pick in the second round. That's 3 picks inside of 40. They got a lot of cash to play with, and they have the ability to bonus bump some players down, which is something you should be watching for.
Well, let's take a look at our best player availables board. The Marlins now sitting pretty with Austin Martin and Asa Lacy at their disposal. For the longest time, we assumed that they would take whichever the big three felt to them, Martin, Lacy, or Torkelson. Now they got 2 of these guys to choose from. The Marlins have a lot of pitching that's in their top 10, top 15, or the top 30s. So Asa Lacy, is he maybe a surplus? They also have maybe a little bit of a need for some infield depth, specifically on the left side of the infield. They don't really have any third base depth to speak of. You got Jazz Chisholm, maybe their star shortstop. A lot of ways they can go here. Ralph Lacy was a big guy that rose through the ranks in the spring. Martin, of course, is a high floor, good hit tool guy. We have him 2, 3 in different ranks. I guess it's a can't lose situation. But for the Marlins, where should they go here, considering where they are as an organization?
Yeah, I don't think they can go wrong with, a bevy of guys here that are available. Probably every player, from Martin, Lacey all the way down to a guy like Max Meyer, or even some of the the high school left-handed outfielders. But if I'm in the Marlins position, I'm going Asa Lacey here. Pick it, stick it, take the left-handed arm with velocity, take the guy with the 20 inches and more of vertical movement on that fastball, good slider, big body, nasty sort of bulldog mentality. I'm very, very, very interested to see what Miami does here. I think Lacey's the perfect fit at the top of that organization. And I think, he arguably is pushing for their top prospect above Blade in real life lists. And he's the kind of pitcher that's kind of transcendent between scouting sort of lists and fantasy lists just because of his ability to miss bats.
Gotcha. And so we're just receiving word the Marlins do have a pick. The pick is in. And wow, it is neither Lacey nor Martin Ralph. They have gone under slot. They chose Zach Veen, the top prep bat in the class. Clearly, there's something in the works here at pick, I think 40, whatever. Pick 40 for the Marlins later. Something's waiting in the wings here. I don't think I've seen any mocks not have Lacey or Martin in the first 3 picks at least. They've both fallen out of the top 3. The big 3 is no longer the big 3. So we've now seen, as you see on we'll turn to our draft board here, Spencer Torkelson, Heston Kjerstad, and Zach Veen are the top 3 picks to kick off our 2020 draft. Wow, this is a bit of a shocker. We knew teams were going to want to be saving money here, but I feel like we're going overboard just right off the top here, Ralph.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Veen was always in play as a top 5 player, so it's not like he's jumping that much. The number that I've heard rumored with Veen was anywhere between 5 million and 5.5 million. If that's the case, then the savings isn't all that significant, in my opinion, versus potentially Lacey. The number that I've heard rumored with Austin Martin has been $8 million for him. I can see why the Marlins maybe were scared off of that number, not wanting to draw any other pool resources and go in full slot, where they can go a little under slot with Veen, save, $1 million or two, and then pull that down to 40 to potentially make a really interesting selection. Let's not forget both Baltimore and Kansas City both have picks in the competitive balance round. So they're going to have to do some fancy footwork there in order to pull some of those guys past either of those teams in the CBA.
Certainly, and you see some of the choppiest, framiest footage here of Zach Veen as we're just a really someone who's I think has grown on me ever since we had conversations of the Marlins potentially going Zach Veen a few days ago. You guys have really drawn me into him because of the upside he possessed, and I read an article about him how this guy was a baseball rat from the moment he was a middle schooler. He'd be showing up to his high school baseball team and asking to take part in any drills. What can I do, coach? And eventually, his goal was to start as a freshman on the varsity team, and that's exactly what happened. So, really hard worker. We'll see how it turns out for the Marlins. Hopefully well as a personal bias Marlins fan. So, we'll just receive where the pick is in for the 4th pick of the draft. It is the Kansas City Royals. Now, the Royals have selected Austin Martin here. Not a surprise. I mean, when the board has given you some beautiful gifts, you take them. Austin Martin to the Royals, Ralph. Is this their shortstop of the future?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He could be their center fielder of the future, quite honestly, or their third baseman or a second baseman. I'm going to probably say Bobby Witt sticks it short. Martin's probably going to get moved, and I think that's one of the reasons the pick makes sense here is the fact that he can fill multiple positions in the dirt and multiple positions out in the grass. And, I know there's some connection between the Royals and Austin Martin's agent, Scott Boras. So maybe they were able to meet the number there. They also have some additional pool resources at their disposal due to their pick at 32 and then again at 41. So they're a big player, kind of flexing their muscle a little bit, and they were able to swoop here as Martin dropped down from a potential top 2 pick really the entire winter and spring.
Gotcha.
Looking, by the way, I gotta get out of here in a second.
Yeah, no worries. We're wrapping up, and so we'll take a look at the last 5 picks here. Our board so far, just to recap, just been a wild ride just from the start. Which is personally, I'm a fan of Team Chaos. So that's what I was hoping for. Spencer Torkelson number 1, about the only thing running chalk here. But then Heston Kierstad and Zach Veen, both the Orioles and the Marlins going underslot, and Austin Martin, you just can't pass them up for your Royals. And finally, the Blue Jays, their pick is just in. They, of course, no surprise, we were always wondering, was it Emerson Hancock? Was it Max Meyer? Well, Blue Jays fan, it is Asa Lacy. Ralph, is it time for me to start dreaming of a Nate Pearson, Asa Lacy 1-2 punch?
Potentially, man. I think that's a pretty exciting development there to see Lacy be able to drop to that organization at 5. Ready-made guys. I've already mentioned some of the, the reasons behind teams wanting him here in this top 5 with the vertical movement and the fastball, the velocity, the good slider, and all that coming from, a really strong package from the left side. So, yeah, Lacy's a great pick. I'm a little shocked that he didn't go 3 or 4 with him on the board, but look at that. The Blue Jays come out with a really exciting arm, and I don't know, makes the future really bright when you consider some of the position players that they have, already at the major league level, and then some of these arms that they're going to have coming up over the next couple of years. Nice little core brewing up in Toronto.
You have to assume Mason McRae's hands are in his pants right now. With that, we're going to wrap up this first round of the MLB draft. Just 5 rounds. MLB cut it down right before it started. Just absurd. But thank you for tuning in to the Prospects Live
5-pick draft
MLB concurrent live show. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to do more of a relaxed stream with day 2. And